Part 2 of the controllers video. I have now 3 controllers. They are pretty rare. We have a PlayStation 3 SIXAXIS, a PlayStation 1 and a PS1 controller. So starting off on this one, this PS1 controller is okay. So the only thing that I have written was analog sticks, and it's because they were a bit trashy, but if I clean them they will be okay. So this controller is fine. Next controller will be the PS3 SIXAXIS. This is one of the controllers that was released with the first console. As you can see, the left stick, it stays when we release it. So the joystick itself, it's probably ruined. Let's just check if all the buttons are working. This joystick, it's working, but well, as it's not coming back to the center, it's almost like it's drifting, but it's not. So let's test the buttons and see what, if anything else is damaged. Apparently not. All the buttons are pressing and registering. So it's just this one joystick that is not working properly. So let's take a look into it and see what we can do. So with the screws out, let's then separate the two halves of the case to see inside. Let's be careful because this is quite old and rare. So this apparently is the original battery, which is still working. It is an original controller because these were not faked at the time, and it's a Toshiba chip, so you can be confident that we have a genuine controller. Let's remove the battery. Since this is 6-axis controller, as you can see, there are no rumble motors for the vibration, because the first ones, they did not had it because of a lawsuit of some sort with Sony. And if you see, this case is see-through, which is pretty awesome. As you can see, my hand on the back. It's really nice, and these are quite rare and sometimes expensive if in good condition, which is what I will attempt to do here, leave it in a good condition so that I can resell it or just use it with my original PS3. Let's then remove the screw that holds the board in place so we can then see what we can do. So this is the analog stick that is not working properly. It is working but not properly, and we can see that it still stays when we pull it, and it barely clicks on the button, although it registered the click as we saw on the tester. So we need to see if we manage to find a replacement for this before we start to remove it, otherwise we'll have an injured controller. So let's start with the basics and clean the board with a bit of IPA. This is 99% pure, so it will not leave any residues when cleaning the boards, so it's safe to use. Let's brush this joystick to see if we managed at least to release the grime that is holding it in place. If that's the case, I don't know, because it's locked inside, so we need to try. So I have a joystick for a PlayStation 3, but it is not the same size as these. This is probably one of those Dualshocks for the Dualshock controllers, and it's a little bit larger than this one. The original one, which is on the board at the moment, it's a Hall effect, so it's magnetic, and the potentiometers are different. So I would say this will be a little bit difficult to find, and unfortunately this piece that I have, it will not fit because it's too large and probably wouldn't work anyway. So not sure what to do here. I was searching and could not find these joysticks for sale anywhere. I will try this silicone spray to see if it releases a little bit of the grime that is holding the joystick when we pull it up and down, or see if it releases the springs that are allowing it to move, which I don't think it will, but we can try. So let's use this paper rag to remove the excess silicone spray, to see if then the joystick is loosened up. As you can see, it has a lot of grime inside. The yellow is coming out. Hopefully this will help the joystick to work again. So let's try this to see if we manage to do anything. If not, the only solution would be buying another controller and replacing the joystick, but as it's a rare controller, this is very difficult to do. I'll use a little bit of oil as well. Well, let's try everything that we can, but unfortunately I'm not able to release this joystick in order for it to come back to the center. So let's just clean it up and leave it as is for now, and see if in the future we can find a controller that has a joystick part that we can use and replace it, so we can give some value to this controller that is quite rare. Let's clean as best as we can and go to the next controller. Here is it. It is back in place, so this is the best we could do. Unfortunately, let's hope that we come across a controller like this anywhere and fix this one. Now let's try to fix this PlayStation 1 controller that has both joysticks very wasted. Let's just go inside, and to remove this board we will need to take off 2 screws. As you can see, the rumble motors are quite different from the ones on a Dualshock 3, for example, or a PlayStation 2. Let's then start to remove the screws and see if we can do anything with these joysticks that I bet you it will be a rare one to get. Let's then remove the board and see what is going on under here. So this is the joystick that we need to replace, and as you can see on the inside, it's very worn out. It's starting to break apart. This is the reason why this joystick is not working as it should. This one is not in a better condition, but at least it still works a little bit. So I will have to see if I manage to find something similar for sale, which I don't believe I will, because I never came across something like this. Let me just do a quick clean to remove all the grime from these buttons. Unfortunately, I did not find any parts for sale. I even asked on Reddit if someone knew where I could find those, and unfortunately they are not made anymore. So the solution here is the same as the PS3 one. We need to find a controller that has the joysticks working with some sort of different fault, and we replace the part. So this is it. The video is ending. We have 3 controllers. One of them was already working, just needs a good clean, which is the PS1 one, and the other 2 really need to have replacement parts specific for them. So we need to find controllers that are exactly the same as these, but with a different problem, to replace these parts. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave it a thumbs up, do a subscription on the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.